Good morning, Class 7th. This is your biology book. I am Sonali, your session teacher for this session. Okay, this is your biology book, and we have completed our first chapter in our YouTube videos. Now, this is we have started your second chapter, that was animal tissues, in our previous video, and we have completed more than half of the chapter. So, we can take a quick revision of this animal tissue. What we have done, the classification, okay, so that we can go further. So we studied about the classification of the animal tissues, but our tissues are group of cells which together form a specific function, okay, which are formed grouped together to perform a specific function, okay. So these animal tissues, they are divided into various categories. So into how many types or how many parts it is divided? 4 parts, okay. First one is your epithelial tissue, second connective tissue, third one is your muscular tissue, and fourth one is your nervous tissue, okay. Epithelial, connective, muscular and nervous. So out of these 4 tissues, we have completed our 2 tissues in our previous videos. They were epithelial and connective tissues, okay. So we can take a quick revision of that classification. Now, we have read about the epithelial tissues, that covers your outside, the outer lining of your bodies, okay. About the epithelial tissues, it was a very short topic, okay. Now, connective tissue, it was classified into 3 main types, okay. So, connective tissue, they are of 3 main types. First one is connective tissue proper, next one is skeletal tissues, and the third one is fluid connective tissue, which are further classified into different types. Now, connective tissue proper, they are of 2 types, areolar and adipose, okay. Now, skeletal tissues, they are of 2 types, cartilage and bone. And the fluid connective tissue, they are of 2 types, blood and lymph. And blood is also further classified into 4 categories, that is RBCs, WBCs, platelets and the plasma. Okay, so this was all the classification about epithelial and the connective tissue, which we have completed in our previous video. So in this video, we are going to discuss about the muscular tissues, its types and the nervous tissue. Okay, in this video, we will cover about muscular tissue, its types and the nervous tissue. So what happens in the muscular tissue? The muscular tissue, what is the function of muscular tissue? It forms the muscles of your body. You can move each and every part of your body, your hands, your legs, okay, your neck. So why this is happening? Because it is formed by the muscular tissues, okay, muscular tissues. So they are present in every part of the body, and the contraction and the relaxation of the muscles, they help in the movement of different body parts. So this was about your muscular tissues. Now, based on their structure and functions, they are of 3 types: voluntary, involuntary and cardiac. So they are of 3 types: voluntary, involuntary and cardiac. Now we will read about voluntary, involuntary and cardiac muscles in detail, okay. So first one is your voluntary or striated muscles. What happens in voluntary or striated muscles? These muscles are always under the control of an individual's will, okay. That's why they are known as voluntary muscles, because they are under our control, under our will. Okay, so the muscles attached to the legs, you can move your hands, you can move your legs, you can move your neck, okay. So all the muscles present in these parts, which you can move according to your will, according to your control, okay. So they are known as voluntary muscles. These muscles are usually attached to the bones, okay, and so they are also known as skeletal muscles. Now, the cells of these muscles, they have striation of light and dark bands. You can see here voluntary muscles, okay, in this diagram. So, voluntary muscles, they have striation of light and dark bands, okay, and that's why they are known as striated muscles, because they have strips of light and dark bands. Okay, so that's why they are known as striated muscles. So the 3 names you have learned: voluntary muscles, skeletal muscles and striated muscles. All are same, okay, voluntary or striated muscles. Now comes your involuntary or unstriated muscles. So just the opposite. Involuntary muscles are not under our control, are not under the control of an individual's will, okay, so therefore they are known as involuntary muscles. Now these muscles, they are mainly spindle shaped and they have only one centrally located nucleus, okay, they have only one nucleus attached to that. Now these are smooth structures. You can look into the diagram. These are smooth structures and they don't have any striations. They don't have light and dark striations. Okay, that's why they are known as unstriated muscles. Why they are known as unstriated muscles? Because they don't have any striations of light and dark bands. Okay, then where are they found? Like voluntary muscles are found in our legs, hands, muscles. Okay, but these muscles are found in the walls of hollow organs which we cannot move, like stomach, intestines, blood vessels, urinary bladder. Are they under our control? No. Okay, so in these all organs, stomach, intestines, blood vessels, urinary bladder, in all these organs the muscles are unstriated and they are involuntary. Okay, and what is the work of this? They help in the movement of food through the digestive system, constricting the blood vessels and emptying the bladder. So these muscles help in these activities. Now comes your cardiac muscles. So the cardiac muscles you can just derive from the name. Cardiac muscles, they are present only in the walls of the heart. Okay, now they have both the features of voluntary also and involuntary muscles also. How? Like involuntary muscles, they are not under our control. The heart muscles are not under our control. But like voluntary muscles, they have striations. They have striations of light and dark bands. Now the cardiac muscles keeps on contracting and relaxing throughout the life and will never get tired. You have studied in your social science book of class 5th. Okay, if the heart stops working, what will happen? We will die. Okay, so the muscles in the heart, they are continuously working 24 hours. Okay, they don't stop for a second also and they never get tired. The rhythmic contraction and relaxation help in the circulation of the blood throughout the body, and the fibers of cardiac muscles, they have branches which join together with a distinct nucleus in each of them. Okay, they have branches and they have distinct nucleus in each of the branches and they join to form the cardiac muscles. So now here comes the difference between the voluntary, involuntary and cardiac muscles. We can just take a quick revision with that. Voluntary, striation of light and dark bands is present. In involuntary, no striation is there, and in cardiac, striation is present. Then voluntary, they are under the control of individual's will. Involuntary and cardiac, they are not under our will. Okay. Then voluntary, they are multinucleate, many nucleus are present there. But involuntary, they are uninucleate, and cardiac is also uninucleate. Okay. Now, voluntary, they are present in hands and legs. Involuntary, they are present in the walls of internal organs like stomach, blood vessels, intestine. Cardiac, they are present only on the walls of heart. Okay. And last one is voluntary helps in the movement of bones and they get tired when overworked. Okay, they will get tired and they can relax. We can relax our legs and hands. Okay. Now involuntary, they help in the functioning of internal organs. Okay, like food moves very easily due to the involuntary muscles in the stomach. It also can relax. Okay. Now cardiac muscles, they work continuously throughout the life and they can never get tired, because if they will get tired, we will die. Okay, so they will never get tired. This was the difference between voluntary, involuntary and cardiac muscles, and here your muscle tissues gets over. Now comes your next type of tissue, that is nervous tissues. Okay, so nervous tissues, it constitutes the nervous system of your body. And nervous system, what is the function of nervous system? It helps in the control and coordination of the body. Okay, so your brain, your spinal cord, your nerves, they are all composed of this nervous tissue. And it is made of elongated cells called neurons or the nerve cells. So the elongated cells out of which nervous tissue is made up of, they are known as neurons or the nerve cells. See, now comes the structure of the neuron. Okay, so what is neuron? It is the basic structural unit of the nervous system. This is very, very, very important. Okay, so understand it attentively. So neuron, what is neuron? It is the basic structural unit of nervous system. What is the work of neurons? It carry forward the messages from the body to the brain and vice versa. What is the function? It will carry, if you touch an iron, okay, you will feel hot and you will immediately remove your hand from it. So who has done this work? These neurons or the nerve cells, they carried forward the messages from our body organs to our brain. okay, and from the brain to the body organs, and we just removed our hand to we responded to the stimuli, okay. So this is just because of the neuron. Now each nerve cell or each neuron, they consist of a centrally located cell body. There is a centrally located cell body or cyton. This is known as cyton, okay. The centrally located body is known as cyton, okay. Now the cell body contains a nucleus and one or more elongated hair-like structures. These hair-like structures, you can look into the diagram. This is known as dendrons. The hair-like extensions are known as dendrons, and the dendrons, they further divided into branches. You can see the branches of the dendrons. They are dendrites. Okay, you have to remember these terms. Dendrons further divide into branches known as dendrites. Now one of the dendrites, it is longer than the rest. This one is longer than the rest, and this is axon. Okay, so several axons, when they are bundled together, they form a nerve. Okay, and this myelin sheath is to protect that nerve. Now the brain and the spinal cord, they are made up of these nervous tissue. This was the structure of your neuron, and these last endings are your nerve endings. Okay, so this was the structure of your neuron, and this was all about your nervous tissue. Okay, so in today's video, what we have discussed about the previous revision of all the animal tissues. Okay, we have just taken a quick revision of the animal tissues, the epithelial, the connective, which we have discussed in our previous videos, its types, and in this video, the freshly studied part is muscular tissues, the nervous tissues. In muscular tissues, the types of muscular tissues also, voluntary, involuntary, and cardiac, and in nervous tissue, structure of the neuron. That is very, very, very important. Okay. So this was all for today's video. You just have to revise the chapter. Here your chapter ends up and you have to revise this chapter. Okay? Thank you. Thank you for today.